Welcome back. We're going to continue on where we left off. Sapphire, you've come to the 13th before, yes? You fought Voidsent here. Wait, when did I go to the 14th? Or 13th? But clearly you don't know. Clearly you didn't know they could regenerate, else you would have shared the detail beforehand. Um. Okay, this is going to be one of those moments where I probably should have played through Pandemonium, I'm guessing. So whenever I decide to start putting the raids on here, I think we'll deal with that. I don't remember dealing with. Oh wait, Cloud of Darkness. Never mind. Never mind. This makes sense. I doubt not that they did. There must be a reason why the ones you defeated didn't return. In contravention of the natural order. Do you remember aught out of ordinary? A sealing magic like Zero's, perhaps? There are circumstances in which we're unable to return. If you like, I can tell you about this. Please do. The more you devour, the more powerful you grow, but in the process, your essence is blended with those of your prey. If you were to lose your flesh, the soul you had come to harbor may break free and coalesce into distinct void scent once more. And before you yourself return, your own soul might be devoured by your enemies or your erstwhile prey. A fate more likely for stronger beings who require more time to regenerate. However, even assuming you survive the process, it's highly uncommon to return as you were. Yet, despite his great strength, Skarm managed to resurrect rather swiftly. Are there others capable of the same? But Skarm was an Arc Fiend. Not that I'm aware of. His attachment to his flesh must have been unique for him to develop such an ability. I believe we understand the fundamentals of rebirth now. If I may, I would ask you about your power. Will you tell us about it? What you saw should speak for itself. I can bind the aether of the soul in crystal. Many wielded this power during the Contra Memoria. I almost want to say Contra Mundi. Contra Memoria, but I'm the only one left. Oh, interesting. I am told that heroes of the 13th once sealed gods in stones called Auracite. Are they and Memoria one of the same? Auracite? I do not know this word, but the world is vast and perhaps Memoria may have different names elsewhere, but it does sound quite similar. How does one come to yield Memoria, and what happened to your peers? Huh. Never thought about that. I don't know. Though that Voidsent can't use the power, I assume I can because I'm mortal in part. How? I see. Zero, I wish to ask you about the man called Golbez. He may well have my sister in his clutches. Is there aught you can tell us about him, of him? The name sounds vaguely familiar, though I cannot say how I know it. If he is powerful, however, someone in the castle may have heard of him. Then we must try talking to the other Void Synth again. Let us entrust the task to Sapphire. His echo will help facilitate communication. More importantly, he should be able to maintain his composure better than a certain sibling. That I cannot deny. Forgive me, but will you not ask about Golbez in my stead? On the terraces to begin with, perhaps. Thank you. We shall remain here and discuss what other avenues we might pursue in the meantime. This right here alone feels like it's a beginning of a story. Like it's a continuation and all, but it feels like its own, like we're starting a brand new storyline. And we're gonna heavily dive into like the void scent and all of that. Like, I don't know. This does not feel like a area of wrap up to me. Where's Homeboy at? There he is. So the clever one hadn't been eaten. If no one interrupts it, then perhaps... Gomez, of course I know of him. Only a fool without ears wouldn't. His archfiends lead armies to ravage and conquer. They devour those they deem useless, those who can't fight. If you don't want to be eaten, then you better flee, though soon there will be nowhere to run. Interesting. Are you going to go on about the flowers again? If the one who devoured her lips dies, perhaps my mistress will return. Then I will bask in her gaze. Yeah, you were useless. We were just going to go on about the flowers? Oh, Golbez, you say? My mistress spoke of him. He commands the Archfiends. They are very powerful and have conquered many domains. The mistress bade us defend the castle from them. Yes, she did. Interesting. Alright, oh hungry one. The tasty one returns to tempt me. I mustn't eat you. I mustn't eat you. Gomez. I know of him from those I've eaten. He has minions, and those minions have minions. No one ever sees him. It's really interesting. This is a bit of a weird continuation in the storyline. Just because the abomination, you have the abominations and all that we fought. Welcome back. Were you able to learn a value? And I will expound forth what I know of Gomez. So countless Voidsent answered to the Archfiends, who in return answered to Gomez, as your vision did suggest. Skarm's aggression is also consistent with the claims that the Archfiends conquer other domains. The question is how do we reach Gomez if he surrounds himself with armies of minions? We could target other Archfiends, or perhaps those who have fled his service. Either may yield useful information. That said, we can't do much while we're stuck on this isle. Zero, I would ask a favor of you. I am determined to save my sister, Ajdaya. If there is a faint possibility that Gomez has her, then I must find him. To that end, I want you to lend us your strength and knowledge. Will you accompany us on our quest? Forgotten the way of my world already. If you want my help, offer payment. None here will aid you out of the kindness of their hearts, and any who claim otherwise are liars and betrayers. Or is it less a request and more a threat? If I refuse, will you force me to serve? I have no purpose. Why would I desire anything? That's why I didn't bother to resist when the ones here fell upon me. What matters in the world is already dead. By that logic, you have no reason to refuse our request. The payment need but be your satisfaction, correct? Did I not already say that much from the start? Very well, Zero. I propose you travel with us, and whenever you perform a deed that requires payment, we will provide it in Aether. That's all you had to say. Everything else was super. Fair point. Now where to? Either a place the Archfiends may strike next, or where refugees and deserters may seek sanctuary. I know the latter. I'll take you there. I assume you also know where we can get off this isle? I was brought here on a mount. We can leave the same way. Now that you mention it, I did notice some flying creatures near the terraces. Given our numbers, we'll need a large one. But regardless of size, all can be won over with Aether. Excellent. Let's go find our mount at once. Not good. Lord Gobes must hear of this. Like, this seriously feels like a side story that we're going into. Like, this all started because we're trying to help villagers, we're trying to help people after the whole, like, abomination and end of days thing. And now it's just like, okay, someone was curious about something. All right, we're gonna go find that, and then it led to this somehow. We should be able to find a mount here. With the castle in disarray, the creatures will be hungry. Just a little aether should suffice. Are you ready?
There it is. Good. It agrees to serve. Get on.
Some of these looks like things we fought before.
What is this place?
My domain.
Oh.
In the beginning, it was a sanctuary for me alone. But over time, others began to gather here. Those who had nowhere else to go.
A settlement of pariahs?
What's that? Mortals! They're mortals! What enticing either? Let me have some, let me have some! Not fair.
You are under my protection here and will not be harmed. I give you my word. Follow me.
This is my abode. The others won't come near, so you may be at ease. While they know their place, if tantalizing Aether were to walk by, I can't guarantee they won't pounce. Uh, Makes sense. It is a void sense nature to consume. Their sole purpose, even in the pursuit of Aether, may lead to their undoing. Many succumb to instinct. But any who succumb here will have to answer to me. This is my domain. It's one and only rule, and it is absolute. It's interesting now. Like, if this was to be setting up Dawn Trail, that'd be cool, but I don't think it does. Like, at all. Oh, materia. Consider yourselves duly warned. If you wish to go among the Voidsent here, that is your choice to make. All have fled from one master to another, but Whether any of those masters in turn served Gobez, I do not know. You may ask them yourselves. Most have traveled to your world, so it shouldn't be difficult to communicate. Ah, there we go. I was wondering, I'm like, I fought you, I fought you, I fought you, I fought you. We shall go make inquiries at once. Thank you for your counsel. Once we've learned all we can, let us reconvene at yonder plaza. Alright, where are my 3? You're going too, of course, in which case I shall accompany you. I only wish to observe. Do not expect me to help. It's settled then. I'm ready when you are. Huh? Oh, okay. Ready? Then lead the way. I leave it to you to decide whom you may speak. Yes, the usual. I'm like, how many are we talking to? We're talking to 3 of them. See, I don't remember that one that Vershawn's talking to. Everything else I do remember. Like this one in particular. They were from, not Hatahali. Sestasha? I think they're from Sestasha. You're one of the mortals. Is it true? When you die over there, you really die. Or you really die? Question. So it is, so it is. What brings you here then? Ah yes, Gobez. He seeks strong minions to grow his army. So I hear. But recently he stopped doing that. Instead, he devours all. Perhaps he's gathering enough fodder and is now intent on bolstering his own strength. A sure sign he is about to make a move. Stay away from me. If you don't want to be eaten, stay away. Golbez. Golbez. I've heard that name before. Ah, I remember. Always speaking of the Great Crusade. I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious. Oh my god. A crusade, you say? From whom did you hear this? Farfarello. He was a minion of another minion. Went on and on about the terrible things he saw. I see. Perhaps Farfarello can help us, can tell us more. Interesting indeed. To walk around with her like that, you're her minion then. You know, I don't take minions. He has some questions, and I want you to answer them. Golbez. I don't know that one. Only Scathich. When she let us beyond the veil, I grew scared and fled. I've been here since. I don't know anyone else, nor do I wish to. That's all I can tell you. Scathich was a powerful voidsent who ruled over a vast domain. That was a long time ago, though, so I doubt she has any connection to Gobez. Satisfied with what you've learned? Ah, but let's step away before you become too tempting to resist. It seems the rumors of Golbez reach even my remote domain. Fair to assume he's gathering strength for his crusade, whatever that may be. But I must say, I wouldn't have guessed that Farfarello once fought in Golbez's army. It's a miracle he survived serving an Archfiend. Why? Ah, I suppose I should explain. Farfarello was the weakest among us. Certainly in fear of being devoured, he seldom consorts with others. The only one he's comfortable with is Siriato. He's a fellow coward who runs the instant he senses a threat and won't stop until he's exhausted. When their hunger grows too intense, they feed on each other's aether. Such is their relationship. But I ramble. You intend to seek out Farfarello, I presume. Yep. Then I'll come with you. He's less likely to hide that way.
Not only did the mortals conquer Troy, they defeated Scarmalione. I struggle to believe it. Never is full, my lords. They were aided by one of our world, who transformed Scarmalione's soul into crystal. Crystal? This one speaks of Memoria. Now there's something I've not heard for an age. It'll bring a pang of nostalgia to my breast and a tear to my eye. Yet the very notion was an absurd! Drowned in darkness, as were we all.
And yet Scarmalione still does not answer. Were he alive, he would have returned by now. Weakest though he was, his ability to regenerate was without peer. If this account is true, if a Memoriat has survived, they cannot be suffered to live.
Leave this matter to me, Lord Golbez. I, Barbaricia, shall strike down any who pose a threat to our plans.
'Tis true, you are a proven commander, well suited to leading an assault.
And when I have succeeded, I would beg a boon of you.
What do you desire?
The dragon's ether. All that remains.
The insolence! No place!
With respect, my locks are free as the wind, without incentive to sway them. I know not whither they will blow.
Boldly spoken. I trust you will not disappoint me.
Upon this flowing hair and my immortal soul, I will not fail.
Sure you won't.
Then go and impress upon these interlopers the futility of defiance.
My lord.
Farfarello keeps to the fringes of my domain this way. Oh, I remember this one. Oh, whatever will I do now? Oh, that's not a good, oh boy. What happened to him? Siriato. This is rather unexpected. Where's Farfarello? Gulp. Oh boy. Farfarello isn't here anymore. He's left. Yes, that's right. Left? That doesn't sound like him at all. Well, he's gone, alright. What more do you want me to say? And off he flees, as he is wont to do. But something about this doesn't sit well with me. What do you make of Siriato's behavior? I don't think he's telling the truth. Something's up. So you think so too. As he says, Farfarello is gone, but that is quite unusual. As the fact that Siriato, who was clearly frightened by something, chose to not flee but instead hid here, where Farfarello usually... No. We must go after Siriato now. After him! Why are you lying to us? What do you know? Speak! Siriato, we need to talk. There's no time. The wind rises. We must flee. The wind rises? What is he talking about? After him. You do hear the wind actually picking up. So I already know she's going to come to our domain of where we currently are. What's gotten into you? What do you mean, the wind rises? When the wind rises, she comes back. Barbaricia. Barbaricia? Who in the world is that? We must flee, all of us. There is no time. I don't sense anything, but he seems convinced. It's a dead end beyond. We'll corner him. We're doomed. There's nowhere to run. What are you running from? I already told you. Barbaricia, the Archfiend of Wind. Archfiend, you say? We will be devoured or forced to serve. to fight in the crusade, but it makes no difference. In the end, all are eaten by her or her enemies. I don't want to fight anymore. That's why I fled and came here. I see. That explains everything. Almost. I thought it was Farfarello who serve an arc who used to serve an archfiend, not you. Not you, who always ran at the first sign of trouble. You who now speak as though you were Barbicia's minion. There's only one explanation. Indeed, that would account for his uncharacteristic behavior. So, is that the way of it? Did you devour Farfarello? And not just a portion of his aether, but his entire being? How did you know? It wasn't only your behavior that felt strange. You felt strange, as if there was more than you present. Now, I don't believe you would have lost control, more like it was at Farfarello's behest. I can't hide anything from you. I admit it, Farfarello didn't leave, I ate him. He feared Barbaricia more than anything, hated the endless fighting, so he begged me to devour him, that he would never have to fight again. Rather than an eternity of fighting, he chose a moment of pain. For all the good it did, I can still hear his voice inside my head. He's frightened, so very frightened. When you're eaten, your essence is blended with that of your devourer, and though you have no control, your consciousness in part endures. Were this a world where the wheel of life and death still turned, the soul wouldn't linger so stubbornly. In time, I would return to the great flow. It will return to the great flow. But there's no such end here, no escape. All know this. In making his choice, Farfarello must have been desperate indeed. And now the desperation has joined with Siriato's fear, driving him to act erratically. This place will become a battlefield. We don't want to be eaten, neither me nor Farfarello, but there's nowhere to go. Nowhere. Then tell me about Barbicia. I would know what it is we face. It's too late. She's as good as here, and no one can escape her winds. No one.
Aparicio! She has come!
And she's brought her domain with her. The Archfiend's after you and yours, I shouldn't doubt. Perhaps you should go and find them. But be warned, whatever this is about, do not expect us to get involved.
I can't bear it! Eating and being eaten! I only want to be left in peace!
You and me both.
One of the Archfiend's approaches.
They must have been tracking our movements.
She's here.
Excellent. You've saved me the trouble of traveling to Troya.
So you're Barbaricia.
Mind your manners, mortal. My name is not to be spoken save in reverence and fear. And what is this pitiful domain? Pitiful wretches all. I will put you out of your misery. Alas, poor Scarmiglione, and good riddance. Felled by outsiders in pursuit of what? Pray tell?
A dragon. One who crossed to this world thousands of years ago. Know you aught of it?
A dragon, you say? Huh. My Lord Golbez is more clever than I realized. To let the prize live, that it might lure more prey to us. Very well. In gratitude and service, I shall devour every last mote of their souls.
Where is she? Where is Ashdaya?
Huh. You even share its scent. How curious. And irresistible.
If you think us easy prey, you're wrong.
Unlike Scarmiglione, I need not skulk in shadow to claim what is mine. If you would know about the dragon you seek, then enter into my domain. You may flee instead if you wish, if the fate of the sorry lot here is of no concern to you. One way or another, I will have satisfaction.
What's the plan then? Aye, that we would. Even so, we don't have any intention of turning tail now, do we? We find her and get our answers. Will you be joining us, Zero?
You may be easily goaded into accepting her challenge, but my curiosity is not so insatiable as to cloud my judgment. Nevertheless, if you are desperate for my aid, you know my price.
I shall pay it. So long as you leave me strength enough to see my sister home, you may take as much as you wish. And lest you forget, mine is no ordinary ether. Babaricia too recognized its potency.
Very well. We have a bargain.
The less time we give the enemy to prepare, the better. If everyone's ready, let us set forth. Indeed, and yet my heart weighs heavy for those Barbaricius struck down. Were it not for us, she would have, she would not have come here. Should you require a moment, Zero? For what? Barbaricia took what she could. She was wise to strike quickly, and we would be. And so would we. Agreed. There is no time for sentiment. Only the battle matters now. Barbariccia spoke as if she would give us answers if we were to defeat her. But even assuming she'll talk, which I doubt, I trust I needn't tell you how foolish it is to give an Archfiend a second chance. Best to seal her away at the earliest opportunity. If you wish to peer into her past, the Memoria will suffice. You do that, and if you fail, well, you'll just have to search elsewhere for answers. Rest assured, this won't be our last opportunity to learn more about Ashdaya. If another Archfiend were to fall, Gomez would surely be compelled to respond. If we need only wait for our quarry to come to us. Indeed, if our struggles with Scum taught us anything, 'tis that we must hold nothing back when we face an Archfiend. Let us heed Zero's advice and seal our way at the earliest opportunity. If we're all in agreement, then let us be off. We travel by Nisrock.
You're not the only ones who can ride the wind.
Leave these ones to us.
I see to Barbaricia.
This is going to be a trial, I can already tell. Yep, it's an 8-man trial.
Give yourselves to my scouring winds that I may feast upon your essence. Such rich, exquisite ether. My hair shivers with anticipation. Oh no, no. My locks are as the wind. Strong and free. A fair wind blows. You feel it too, do you not? You've done well to last this long. But the battle has only just begun. There's still time. With more of the dragon's ether, I can yet...
You're finished.
Damn it all! I see you've bested Barbaricia. Well done.
Her minions too are all crystallized or scattered. The day is ours.
What of my sister? Tell me you learned something about Ashdaya.
I'm going to assume now. Yep, I've kind of figured. Power doesn't work that way.
So the Archfiend and her crystal yielded not.
Our efforts have not been entirely fruitless. We have deprived your sister's captor of another powerful champion. With Zero, we may yet challenge Golbez and his minions.
Indeed. We could not have come this far without your aid. Thank you, Zero.
I but fulfilled my part of the bargain. And now I will have my...
Her ether is nearly spent. Perhaps unsurprising given how much power she used.
I wouldn't want to face another Archfiend without her. We should hurry back to Zero's domain.
Agreed. Eager though I am to continue, it would be unwise to risk our lives for the sake of haste. Let us suspend the mission and tend to Zero.
Though Zero remains unconscious, she appears otherwise fine. Insofar as I can discern, at any rate, being part void sent, her physiology may be rather different from ours. Let us observe her for a while as we discuss our next move. Okay. I'm going to end it here because I think the next section is going to be mostly exposition. And I think I'm just going to turn this whole thing into like a three-parter. Didn't want to, but I more than likely will because I don't want like insanely long videos. Even though I already have some that are like 2.5 hours long. So in the meantime, be on the lookout for every Tuesday a video drops on YouTube. I think when I get to Dawn Trail, I'm going to start streaming that on Twitch. Till then, be good to yourself, be good to others, and please take care of each other. Laters.